ensuing siege.
Commander Innis had originally demanded that the Libyans should leave with their hands up. In that case, Shaibi countered, British diplomats in Tripoli would have to crawl out on their hands and knees.
Siege, a failure of intelligence, tomorrow at 9:25 on BBC One.
Well, the two Ronnies take a leaf out of the spying manual over on BBC Two now, along with the Page, Elaine Page, their special guest. Here on BBC One, we flick through the covers of Silver Screen magazine with Leonard Rossiter in his last comedy role for television, The Moon Over Soho.
The way he wants to do this is through reductions in interest rates. And on this screen we can see what's happened at the end of 1981. Bank base rates were 14.5%. At the end of 1982, these have been reduced to 10%.
I think we're in for a sharp rise in interest rates. The pound is going to get weaker as oil prices fall again. Chancellor's plan to boost the economy with low interest rates will be ruined by the end of the year.
I think they'll be around about 9% if we did nothing more. But all of this
Cherubim Books, good afternoon, can I help you? Putting you through now.
more than $1.61 to a pound at the end of 19...
I'm sorry, caller. Mr. von Königsberg must be at lunch. Yes, I'm sure he can still afford a salt beef sandwich. Yes, Mr. Montague at the bank, yes, of course, yes, we do have your number, Mr. Montague, yes. Of course, as soon as he comes in, yes. Bye. Cherubim Books, good afternoon, can I help you? Mr. von Königsberg, got a printers on the line. Von Königsberg! Ah, Simon! So how's the weather in Milton Keynes? But I can assure no, wait a moment, sir. Chancellor's making a nuisance of himself here. Simon, there was nothing on the van this morning. No page proofs, no galleys. You're letting me down, eh? Huh? Oh, so you're no longer priority for your company. After all, I've only kept you in business for the past 20 years. Huh? Oh, may I ask what those splendid machines of yours are doing this afternoon in Milton Keynes? No, so, in preference to the May issue of Silver Screen, oh? And I'm sure you can find some space for us, Simon. Just print a few less copies of this Road to Christianity. Huh? Well, if your boss does know it is, tell him what Hitler did to Poland, he is doing to Max von Königsberg. Huh? And Simon, when was it you wanted to fly to Japan? No?
Yeah. 5p more on a bottle of wine, 7p on a bottle of sherry, and a penny on a pint of beer or cider.
Wenn ich meine Hand betrachte, fremdes Ding mit mir daran, stär ich in keinem Land.
You put 4p on petrol.
Ihnen kein Hier und Jetzt, ihnen kein was gesetzt. What's that down to a station sound?
It's jammed up, love. Gets worse every bleeding day.
I can offer you Pfefferkuchen. You charge for the first mile.
Cherubim book. The Whistler just called again here, Gruppenführer.
Did you say anything this time?
Nothing. Just came through with a long, low whistle like before. Spook.
Joseph, this cream cheese is sour.
Oh, Morris said your credit's good for sour cheese, but as from today, fresh sandwiches means cash over the counter. What about Mr. Montague at the bank?
Oh, call our friend at the airline. Have him send a couple of tickets for Tokyo to Simon and Milton Keynes. Home, not office.
Look, we've already flown the New Yorker lady to the Canaries this month, and you promised Tokyo to the Minister of the Arts.
I did?
Certainly, for his piece on the new British cinema, expressing full support and so forth.
No. Simon must have preference. The minister will have to make do with the new James Bond, Leicester Square. All right? Yeah. Oh, may we expect a visit from Henry this afternoon?
He's resigned, boss. Definite this time. He ain't coming back. I think it was the last salary check that did it. You post-dated it to Christmas.
3 phone calls to Fleet Street. I could ruin him. My God, I teach them everything they know. How to type, how to spell correctly, how to glue 2 pieces of paper together.
Their potty training in journalism begins
And
here.
my reward, Joseph, from these Jugender, these young men and women of the British universities.
Betrayal.
Pickford Jones of the Telegraph, Collins of the Guardian, Appletree of the Sun. I gave them all their start, remember?
And now, Winkelmann of the Times. That's where he is now.
Oh, is it indeed, Joseph? Yes, but there was a time when this same Henry Winkelmann was on his knees in this very office, begging me for a job in the subscription department. Well, let him go to the Times. Let him join those grands écrivains. He'll love it there. He'll relish all the gossip and rumours and lies they spread about me. Oh, yes, and the threats. Yes, let's put nothing beyond the Winkelmanns of this world. Let's be quite clear. What is it? You want to go to the lavatory?
No. I looked up a word the other day in the dictionary.
Oh, so we are teaching you something at Cherubim Books after all.
The word in question, Mr. von Königsberg, was...
Von Königs. Von
Königsberg.
Von Königs. Von Yes, you see. Quite simple, Joseph. Yeah.
The word in question, Mr. Max, was meritocrat.
No.
A person wielding power because of abilities, not birth or wealth. Well, not a sentence which carried a great deal of weight in my family, boss, but I persisted. Paid it quite a lot of attention, in fact, during these past few days.
And?
Well, it seems to be a question of ladders. Foot on the first rung.
What do you think, Joseph? Shall we ring Mr. Montague at the bank? Spoil his afternoon for him? What do you say?
I have worked well, Mr. von Königsberg, in the subscription department.
Yes, of course you have, Joseph. Yeah.
And you are pleased with the contacts I've made as advertising manager?
Oh, yeah, the Japanese airline account was a masterstroke, yeah.
Well, Henry's gone, boss. Resign like all those others. Silver Screen needs a new editor.
Oh, I see. And you're applying for the job. Well, Joseph, you might find yourself a little overstretched. What with your many other duties. However, we will reflect, yes. We will give the matter our undivided attention, and we will come to a decision shortly. The correct one. There'll be no question of any pay rise, of course.
I have an appointment to see Mr. von Königsberg.
No, you haven't.
These are the offices of Cherubim Books, publishers of Silver Screen magazine.
All of Mr. von Königsberg's appointments are kept over lunch at the Savoy house room.
No, I think there must be some mistake. I'd like you to tell Mr. von Königsberg that I'm here. It's a Miss Spencer. Sally Spencer, actually.
Do you know the number of Tokyo Airlines?
I am Max von Königsberg. Can I be of any assistance?
Oh, Miss Sally here is under the impression she has an appointment.
That's not quite true.
Excuse me. Joseph, is this young lady a friend of yours?
I've come about the job with Silver Screen.
Yeah, I'm afraid there are no jobs here.
Maurice at the delicatessen is looking for a waitress. It's just at the corner of Old Compton Street, 1 minute away.
Yes, it must naturally be very difficult for someone of your generation. You have my deepest sympathy, yes. Yes, once upon a time, of course, there were jobs. But they seem to have gone into decline somewhat, rather like the Weimar Republic. Yeah. Neither, alas, can Cherubim Books be said to be part of the Youth Opportunities Program. I'm sorry.
Well, I am very well qualified.
Yes,
Editor required for Silver Screen magazine. Apply in person only. Von Königsberg.
Silver Screen von Königsberg, Cherubim Books, Old Compton Street, no phone call is needed. My God, the Times! Well, how on earth... Winckelmann. It has to be him. Oh, the English sense of humor, huh?
We move forward.
They put half a p on fags.
We surrender neither to the past nor to the future. Hope returns out of the present.
I'm afraid we have both been the victim of a rather ugly practical joke, Miss Spencer.
Have you had many applicants this morning?
But I think I know the culprit concerned, a certain Francis Henry Winckelmann, once a colleague of mine here. He never really recovered from his time at Magdalen College, Oxford. No, there've been no other callers today. Miss Spencer, obviously the personal column of the Times is not required reading for the unemployed.
I suppose you don't take anyone who hasn't been to Oxford or Cambridge.
Well, yeah.
Mr. Montague,
I'm in a meeting, Joseph. This is my advertising manager. He went to Archbishop Ramses. Do you know it?
I'm afraid I don't know. Is that Oxford or Cambridge?
Very decent, comprehensive, just off the Mile Road.
I think I'm an awful fool, Mr. von Königsberg.
No, on the contrary, it's a familiar enough flaw in the English character.
What is?
Wishing to believe everything that is printed in the Times.
It's just that when I read the ad this morning, I thought everything was about to click. You see, I just got my master's degree, that is, in film studies, Polytechnic, I'm afraid.
Do not apologize.
Oh, well, just last night, I'd been going through my notes on Fritz Lang in Hollywood. That's what my master's was about, you see. See, everybody says how Lang sold out when he left Germany to make films in Hollywood. But I think that was his most creative period. You see, Lang didn't have to invent fantastic stories anymore. It was all there in America. But you must find this very boring, Mr. von Königsberg, being German yourself. Do you mind if I smoke?
No.
Oh, do you? See, I've always been fascinated by that whole period. Well, you know, those films, feel a sense of nightmare in an ordinary world. Where does it all come from?
Fritz Lang had a very precise sense of timing, you know, Miss Spencer. Yes, Hitler adored his films. Yes, in 1933, Lang was summoned to the Ministry of Propaganda in Berlin and asked to take control of the new German cinema. He listened courteously to Joseph Goebbels' offer, but his real interest lay in the clock on the desk. It said 4:45. He shook Herr Goebbels by the hand, accepted his invitation, and then proceeded directly to his bank. He had calculated accurately there was just enough time to take out all his savings and leave Berlin that night. I, unfortunately, have been less precise in my plans for this afternoon. This interview has cost me an important phone call to my bank manager. My bank is, alas, now closed. The opening hours in Berlin were more generous. Good afternoon, Miss Spencer.
This morning I thought the moon had come up over Soho.
The moon, Miss Spencer.
Oh, you must know those lines, Mr. von Königsberg, from the Threepenny Opera, where Polly Peachum says goodbye to her gangster lover. In Soho, like here. I'm at the knife. And she speaks of her own little moon, shaped like one of those old penny pieces rising over Soho. And I thought perhaps I would find it here today. Go feel it, please.
Shall I let you into a little secret, Miss Spencer? What Hitler did to Czechoslovakia, Max von Königsberg does to his best friends. You have been warned. Joseph, I have come to a decision as from tomorrow morning, Silver Screen has a new editor.
For Miss Sally.
Thank you, Miss Spencer.
It's the best job in the world,
We
and I won't
will
get you
talk
down.
about money in the morning. Goodbye, auf Wiedersehen.
Boss, you're being set up. What, did nobody else read the Times today?
Yes, possible, yeah.
Well, the airline wants to know who's reading their ads in Silver Screen, apart from me. They say no more freebies till you release some circulation figures for the March edition. How are we going to pay our contributors this month?
Joseph, will Simon get his trip to Tokyo?
But tickets are in the post, but we...
And there'll be something on the van in the morning from the printers?
The review on Gandhi, part 2, definite.
Right.
Plus the article on politics in the Hollywood musical. Hey, Mr. Montague rang again. He's a very angry man.
Joseph, the key to the petty cash. Take it all, every single penny. Get a bottle of champagne from Shapiro's, and then you will buy cheesecake. Real cheesecake, my friend. Go to the Tauber Cafe, Swiss Cottage. You bring back artificial cream, and you're out of a job, huh? Take taxis, huh?
You can't afford it.
Look, Joseph, now is the time to book the best table at the most expensive restaurant in town. Someone's bound to turn up who'll give us money. Have you forgotten Frida King arrives at 5? My mother's never late.
There's been a campaign, a systematic campaign in that rag to rubbish my work.
He was really rude. No one's ever spoken to me like that before. He must be awful to work for. It's only around the corner. He might come in here.
Max has never been known to leave that basement till 10 o'clock at night. Daylight upsets him.
Why bother about a few bad notices, Geoffrey? You're such a talented filmmaker. We all know that.
Word gets around. People start insulting you at parties. The Film Foundation loses interest in your next project. Channel 4 don't return your phone calls. I know who's to blame.
I never knew it was so easy to get a job. Just dropping a few foreign names into the conversation.
Max goes all that crap about Germany in the 1920s. His magazine's full of it. I've got the opening. Max von Königsberg, a little-known but highly influential London publisher, has his headquarters in the heart of Soho's red light district. Many of Fleet Street's highest brows, bastards in it, and most respected names owe their careers to a charlatan with a foreign accent and manner that would make Count Dracula blush.
Well, there was a certain amount of charm there, I suppose.
Winkleman says it's too down market, even for the Times. He's done a deal with a mate at the News of the World. They're clearing space for me on Sunday. They want to print the article while Max is still in business, in the bunker. I promised them some real dirt, Sally.
know, it was quite exciting this afternoon. I enjoyed being a spy. I thought about you a lot. You know, when you came to the Poly to give your lecture. Jeffrey Hargreaves, the director of Blind Eye. Well, I'd never met a proper filmmaker before.
There aren't many of us left, Sally. When they spot a bit of talent, that's when they put the boot in. Confronted with a new film by Jeffrey Hargreaves, it is hardly surprising that cinema audiences are dropping off in their thousands. What Hitler did to Poland, men like Jeffrey Hargreaves do to the British cinema. It's time they were taught a lesson. The critical establishment.
Like Henry Winkleman.
Henry Winkleman says it's a great wheeze. He doesn't mind carrying the can at all. He even claims to like my film now, that Max made him write those articles.
When's the deadline?
We've got 24 hours to nail von Königsberg for good. You know where to look?
Winkleman said in a trunk behind his desk. I just have to get hold of the keys.
You be careful.
Don't worry, Geoffrey. He's the most gullible man I've ever met.
Remarkable.
Yeah. From Tauber's, Mother, fresh today.
On Riverside Drive, a block away from my apartment, there are 10 places that can do better. They also put cherries on the top.
But Tauber's is more correct, Mother. Proper Viennese cheesecake. Oh, of course, if you prefer cherry pie.
But the cream is good.
Oh.
You cannot find such cream in the whole of New York. So, that is enough. Well, here we are in your office.
Yeah, not the New York Review of Books, I'm afraid, Mother.
Actually, I am not so popular there at the moment because of my new book on Israel. I'm a controversial figure. Imagine, they accuse me of anti-Semitism.
Well, look forward to reading that, Mother.
But I love it still, the world of the little magazines, the sense of commitment, of real intellectual debate. But you are still writing about the movies.
Oh, I very rarely go myself these days, Mother. My editorial staff have to keep me up to date.
Your father was also a fan of the movies. He was forever hanging about in the film studios in Berlin before the war. I, of course, saw an immediate link between the kino and fascism. The hypnotism, you know, of the masses. Your father and I were forever arguing about it. Oh, Maxie, why do you not take some marzipan? It's your favorite from Zebar's on Broadway.
I'm afraid my doctor's very much against marzipan at the moment. Most sweet things, in fact.
Indeed, but you're well.
I take quite a few pills.
When I received your letter, I thought it was a question of sudden illness. I, too, am not so well.
Not illness, Mother. No, money.
I have little faith in my doctor. You remember the last time?
A question of money, Mother. Money, the old pennies. Sie brauche das Geld.
Maxie! Why do you have to speak in that ridiculous way? Your German is terrible. I sent you to a good school to learn English.
Mother, there was something I wanted to show you.
Gottes Willen! What is this, Maxie?
It's a threatening letter, Mother. There were several more here in the same style.
It cannot be. 999. But all this was finished with long ago.
I make quite a few enemies in my line of work, I'm afraid, Mother.
By writing about the movies? It is true, in New York, the intellectuals can be very brutal to each other, but never like this. Maxie. Maxie, don't be alarmed. But these dreadful letters may have something to do with my new book. Already in 1948, I was writing about the young terrorist Menachem Begin, who came to the United States to seek funds for his organization. I flatly compared his tactics to those of the Nazis. Now, these letters, they may be from some secret organization based in London.
No. They're probably from people to whom I owe a great deal of money, Mother. Look, there's another.
No, it is not a convenient time for me. My publishers are expecting a new book in the fall. Princeton have not paid me for my last group of seminars. I'm also hoping to attend a conference in Geneva on the 22nd. And then, just before leaving for London, Kissinger invites me to dinner. Yeah, Yeah, he wishes to spend his last years in the company of true German intellectuals. Am I to sleep the night on your sofa?
Oh, no, Mother, no, no. Your room is booked at the Savoy.
You can afford it?
Just try and remember to tip the waiters if you can.
So, you wish me to look into your affairs with a view to a loan. A small loan.
Would be very grateful, Mother, yes.
I shall be severe.
Right.
I shall examine all the books. I shall also look at the editorial content.
I have a new editor, Mother, very bright, very young, a girl.
I once saved a major publication in New York from financial disaster.
I can well believe it, Mother, yes.
Returning to London brings back certain memories.
Yes.
When we first arrived from Germany, and I took you for walks in the London parks, then you had a real German accent.
Yeah.
The people of London were only playing at war. They never really understood why we were here, did they? But, like a good English mother, I took you to feed the ducks in the sunshine in the mornings after the air raids. The first time with a crust of bread in your hand, you walked straight into the water. You floated face downwards. There were no cries of help. A rowing boat had to rescue the little German boy who'd come to feed the ducks. A cry of help, Liebling? It should always be in your native language, don't you agree?
Let me call you a taxi, Mother.
At school, I loathed needlework or anything to do with glue.
Yes,
Fit the columns round the spaces, leave room for the title, and then we put in the photos.
Oh, I love this one of Debbie Reynolds. Where does it go? Oh, right. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah. Cherubim books. Good afternoon, yeah. Well, I've been holding on for 2 minutes already. Does Mr. Montague wish to make a contribution to my quarterly phone bill, or will he speak to me now?
At my school, they never stress the editorial side much. There seemed to be more hope in the pots of glue.
It's from Singing in the Rain.
So endlich. So you do work at this bank after all, eh? No, I was... No, Rudy. Would I phone you if there were no good news? Listen, let me whisper a word of comfort in your ear. The Americans are anxious to help us out during our small travels. Yeah.
How much is he
Yeah,
paying?
no, has the auditors in at the moment. The Americans like to start as a clean slate, you know. Yeah. Yeah, no, I insist.
House rule.
Oh, lunch.
Never discuss money unless it runs into 4 figures.
Well, I know it's short notice. No, I'm bored with the Savoy. Shall we say, Claridge's 1:30, eh? And Rudy, now what would you say to the new James Bond, Leicester Square?
He promised
Friday.
that one to the Minister of the Arts.
Of course, there's a ticket for Mrs. Montague. Auf Wiedersehen, Rudy. Yeah?
Then we caption the pictures and proofread the pages.
Joseph, Miss Spencer has a master's degree. She's perfectly capable of understanding a magazine layout. Besides, it's your turn for W.H. Smith.
Back numbers unsold.
Let's hope it's just a handful for all our sake. What is that article, by the way?
It's on the Hollywood musical.
Well, politics in the Hollywood musical.
Winkelmann, did he commission it?
It can be seen from our study of the Good Morning number in Singing in the Rain that Debbie and Donald O'Connor's anarchic routine constitute a serious threat to the status quo and capitalistic structures in
Joseph, facts are being hidden from me. Who wrote this?
Jeffrey Hargreaves. It turned up in the post 2 days ago. In my capacity as temporary editor-in-chief, I sent it to the printers. Well, we have to fill the magazine with something, boss.
Miss Spencer, this name of Jeffrey Hargreaves, are you familiar with it at all?
No.
Now, let me tell you about Jeffrey Hargreaves.
Wait a minute. Did he make that film Blind Eye?
Now, his style of filmmaking, Miss Spencer, how would you judge it,
Pretentious.
Did you hear that, Joseph? This so-called director, Miss Spencer, is a man without talent, an extremist. His name will not appear on the pages of Silver Screen. At Cherubim Books, he's already dead man, kaput, huh? No. No, your name will appear on the head of that article, Miss Benson. No, no, no.
Königsberg, I think that's
I
going a
would
bit
like
far.
your name to appear in a prominent position in our first issue of the magazine together, and if you're concerned about your reputation, you may rewrite the article according to your own taste. There you are. Complete editorial freedom. Now, where else in London would you find this, eh?
Max, I have some serious questions for you.
How are you getting on, Mother?
What are all these other titles?
Hmm? Oh, they're assets, Mother.
But you do not produce all these other magazines.
Yeah, I own the titles. I don't have to publish them.
Oh, perhaps it is just as well. I cannot for the life of me see who would wish to buy, for example, Progressive Origami or Farming for Fun. Really, Max, you do not even know the difference between a cow and a goat.
No,
My other question concerns the national insurance contributions of your staff.
I'd like you to meet two of my colleagues, Mother.
You start work late in this country. I've been here since 7 o'clock in the morning.
Joseph Leroy Patterson, ma'am, with us 2 T's. Accounts, head of subscription, advertising manager, which reminds me, is my morning for W.H. Smith's. Back numbers and so. So, grand, come in and do it for all I see.
But you employ blacks, Maxie, is that wise?
This is Miss Sally Spencer, Mother, editor of Silver Screen.
My son has a weakness for minority groups. Perhaps I am to blame for this. Not so long ago, I was attacked on the New York subway by a young Puerto Rican. I had no cash with me, only the apple strudel I had bought from Maxime's. So I began to outline a few of my ideas on the nature of violence while keeping a close eye on the switchblade in the young man's hand. He listened for a while, and then he ran off into the night with my strudel. How much is he paying you, my child?
Well, I only started work here this morning.
Yes, you must let me have your P45 sometime, Miss
Excuse me, I don't wish to interrupt, but I have a train to catch. It's the 1:15 from Charing Cross.
Do you happen to know your national insurance number at all?
There is another connection in an hour, but I was hoping to walk from Old Compton Street. It's only 10 minutes.
Max, do you know this man?
Problem is my daughter, you see.
I'm afraid Joseph deals with most of our regular clients.
You are a client.
Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Not quite 100%, you see, in the left ear.
There is a fine specialist in New York. He treated our President Reagan for a similar complaint, but in the right ear. Yeah. 100% successful, to the regret of many of his colleagues in the White House.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are from the Inland Revenue, Max von Königsberg.
Inland Oh, no.
No?
You mean no? No. Thought I caught you out, eh? No. You don't think I don't know. Show business, risky matter. Must be very difficult at times. Well, it's a different world, I always say. In fact, I always say to my daughter, I can't think why you bother to read that rag from cover to cover. There's nothing glamorous about their world, I can tell you.
So your daughter is a subscriber to our magazine, eh?
Wouldn't miss an issue.
Yes.
That's why I've come. Dropped in, so to speak.
Yes.
There's been a mix-up of some sort.
A mix-up?
Let me see, let me get it right. I've got it all down here. Yes. She got October all right. Nothing wrong there.
October, when is that?
October is your Silver Screen.
November as well, that was fine, that was first class.
Yes.
Didn't get December, I'm afraid. Oh, now here's where we come to a bit of trouble. January arrived, 3 issues in fact. Then November again, twice. There was no February, March or April, nothing. Until November turned up in the post again.
Mein Gott.
You think you can help?
Oh, the subscription manager's out for the day.
There's no other contact?
Maxie, this is dreadful.
Oh, these things happen sometimes, madam, even in my line of business. Insurance. Oh, don't be alarmed, it's my day off.
If you'd like to leave your name and address, we get the subscription manager to sort things out. And please apologize to your daughter on our behalf.
That's very kind of you.
Yes, goodbye.
Max, this is not satisfactory.
Please don't interfere.
I do assure you that I appreciate the time and trouble that you're taking over this small matter.
It is not a small matter. Max, give this man his magazines. He's paid for them.
Sure, I can, Mother.
Now, if there was a chance of picking up March, that was the issue that featured an interview with, let me get it right. Steven Spielberg. My daughter's particularly interested in him.
Give him his Steven Spielberg.
Yes, it isn't so simple, Mother. March sold out.
Just my luck. Jennifer will have to stay out of touch a little longer. We are a little bit off the beaten track.
Yeah, yeah. The trouble is, oh my God, we don't keep back. No, we don't keep back numbers on the premises. It has proved to be uneconomic.
Uneconomic?
Yeah.
You do not even know the meaning of the word. There are
James
hundreds
Bond,
of back numbers in this office, but hundreds. It must be possible to find marks.
Mother, would you...
I really didn't intend to cause you any trouble.
But you should. That is what is wrong with your country. Nobody makes a fuss. That is why your industry is failing. Your politics is in decline. And your children, children...
Mrs. King, you all right?
No, but thank you for asking. But no, I am not all right. I travel thousands of miles, drop a great deal of important business to visit my grown-up son in London, who refuses to speak more than a single sentence to me when I arrive. Then I'm asked for money, which I do not have for the business where there is no March or April, and January comes 3 times a year. Really, Max, what do you think you're playing at?
Mother, your English is dreadful. America has quite taken you over.
At least the United States accepted me, which is more than I can say for most other countries, including this hypocritical land, this Tower of Babel. Why, Max, why in heaven's name did you not take that job in New York when it was offered you?
I'm afraid my mother is suffering from jet lag. It's a very ugly expression, but the only one we have.
Going to Mr. 115.
Mother, would you please lock the office if you go out to lunch? I shall be back later this afternoon. I'd give you a lift, only I'm lunching at Claridge's.
I quite understand.
I have found March.
Huh?
You see, it never appeared. It is an asset.
Yeah. Trouble with the printers in March.
Jennifer's thinking of applying to a drama school.
Yeah.
I put my foot down.
I'm a little hungry. My things are in the office.
Oh, yes, of course.
Thank you. Actually, I am a great admirer of the British. They gave away an empire. It was a great thing I did for Max to have him brought up as an Englishman. After all, he had no intellectual gifts at all.
I'll look up.
But he is my only son, and his life is unbearable.
This seat's taken. Sorry.
Only someone with an English accent. Most of you seem to have fled from the capital. I ordered mustard with the beef. Do you think that was wise? Let us exclude the Eastern Bloc for a moment. Where today do we find the equivalent of Dante's First Circle in hell? Some might choose Times Square or even 42nd Street in New York. The Reeperbahn in Hamburg is another possibility. I myself have little hesitation. I would say it was right here in Soho. Morris's Delicatessen, Old Compton Street. Satire is the most unpolitical of the art forms.
What on earth do you Listen. You're saying all the traditional philosophies are outmoded. We've got to find new ways and so forth to get your discount revolution. It's reactionary.
Man, I'm saying that we live in this world with each other. And in this dreadful century of wars and revolution, we are in danger of losing it entirely.
Losing what exactly?
Our love of the world.
wives, letting them know what's really going on, making a complete break with the past.
Other men have had such thoughts in cafes very like this one. The philosophers, what have they changed?
Our way of seeing.
Long before I met my husband, there was a man in Heidelberg. We only had one spring together by the Rhine. Walter was the most gifted philosopher of his generation. In Germany, people said, while that man is alive, I'm not alone as well. Later on, he joined the Nazi Party.
Like that one?
No, Lang was not.
There's a rumour that he's alive and well and living in Soho under a different name. Do you have any family?
No. My books are my children. It is time for work again.
Auf Wiedersehen.
I was just about to lock the office.
My son has no friends, it seems. Only enemies.
Well, that might have something to do with the way he treats other people.
You're trembling.
No, it's just a bit chilly in here, that's all.
You are afraid?
You know, in my family, we do have little upsets, usually at Christmas. But not like this morning. No, it's never like that. No, in my family, there's signs, like Dad going off on his own on Christmas morning for a walk, or Mum forgetting to put the cranberry sauce on the table.
I have to go out to meet my publishers. You must come to my room this evening. The Savoy Hotel, 7 o'clock. We shall talk.
I have to work this evening on an article.
Never turn down an invitation to the Savoy. In New York, I accept all such invitations. Then, when I fail to arrive, nobody notices.
Morris's. Phone call, Mr. Hargreaves. Not more than 2 minutes.
Sally? 32 cups of tea and spent lunchtime talking to a nutter.
I'm trapped here, Geoffrey, in von Königsberg's cellar. I've just fought off the Dragon Lady. Listen, I've got some stuff. Look, there's somebody coming. Stay where you are. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Oh, I hope it's all right. Seeing the only direct line out, I can't handle the switchboard.
From the boss.
From Max?
Morris, I have to phone the Times.
There's a message.
Thank you for this morning. The moon has come up over Soho. Königsberg.
There's been a lot of discussion lately here and there around town about the state of mind of Mr. von Königsberg.
They're very beautiful.
Well, most of them say, look at that dude. He runs his business from the Batcave with the help of an eggnog and a bit of continental lip. He's got to be crazy. Well, my own mum favors this line of thinking. Then there's the opinion of the other interested parties, like his bank manager. They say it's all right to run your finances on the principles of a dream, out of the air, no collateral, with that show business.
What do you say, Joseph?
Well, I say he's taught me a lot. kept me off the streets, give me a chance in life, paid for night school. I say Mr. Bun Rip You Off is a real bastard.
The other editors who've worked here, they've done quite well.
Leading lights in Fleet Street.
Well, this job is an opportunity for all of us.
Unique in journalism. So the boss says.
Do you know anything about an actress called Patricia?
Max is no good, Miss Sally. I'm thinking of making a break. Doing some investigation of my own, in fact.
Henry, I'm in my office. Tell him the piece will be on his desk this evening. Everyone will be named. I'm getting into the swing of gutter journalism. It's very right for me. I'll speak to you later.
That's what you wanted?
Is it any good?
His whole life is there. Bits and pieces. Birthday cards, school photos, strange notes, his girlfriends. There's even a letter from a prostitute in Greek Street.
Tremendous. Better than I hoped.
Max's office keys. Don't you find this just a touch sordid?
Amazing. Man's mad.
I've had no lunch. You could offer to buy me a sandwich.
Is there a coffee percolator on the premises?
A cherubim books? You must be joking. You seem distracted, Geoffrey.
I have these images, Sally, in my head, all the time. Pictures. I need them for my article. I think I'll call on Max this evening, about 7 o'clock. It's only fair. I see us drinking coffee. Salt beef on rye.
You've missed your chance. I'm off to the movies. Complimentary ticket. I'm getting into the work. It's fun.
Pain and sacrifice, Sally. That's the filmmaker's lot. What's that you're wearing?
A carnation.
Cherubim Books, good afternoon. Can I help? Look, my friend, if you were to try a few words along with that tune, perhaps you could...
Who was that, Joseph?
Oh, the spook. Still auditioning for that part in The Sound of Music.
My mother's becoming lax. There is a filing system at Cherubim Books, but it is not located around the switchboard. You're letting me down, Joseph.
I need to talk to you, boss. It's about my conditions of work. There appears to be some...
There is to be a meeting this afternoon of Mr. Montague's superiors at the bank, and I must attend.
The warehouse offered 50 quid for last month's back numbers. I think I can get them up to 60. Oh, and this come for you. It was left upstairs.
It's impossible.
You look as if you've seen a ghost, boss. Must be good news, eh?
Hollywood Hotel is the best home. You are not punctual.
I went to the movies.
Joseph?
Good evening, Herr von Königsberg. I've been looking forward to our meeting for some considerable time.
I have something to show you.
Lovely carnations.
They are from Max.
He has expensive tastes.
What is this?
Call it a dream, Max. Things are not what they seem to be.
I shall call the police. Do I owe you money?
You know what we're going to call this? Self-portrait.
It might be a joke, Mrs. King.
Then it is in very bad taste.
Where is Belson?
I shall call room service. How long have you known Max?
Oh, about 48 hours.
I see.
There's only one rule. A good movie must have a beginning, a middle, and an end. But not necessarily in that order. I broke the laws. They did not understand.
Oh, my God, a filmmaker. Do I know you?
I've left a few clues, Max. But it's for you to solve the riddle. Who said there are only two subjects worth filming? One is desire, the other fear.
How should I know?
Max von Königsberg, the silver screen, September 1976. That's what it says. Let's find out if it's true.
I came out on one of the last trains to leave Berlin with Max, who was 5 years old.
When was that?
August 1939.
No, I mean the date of the Second World War. Was that when they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima? See, I just feel these days, does anybody care?
There was a guard at the border who put his arm around me. He said he cared. Perhaps it was only to stop me from crying. Sally, what are you hiding?
Hiding?
You have a fiancé?
I'm sorry?
There is a young man in your life?
Yes, I suppose so. Yes, there is somebody, actually. It's not very passionate at the moment. As a matter of fact, I saw him this afternoon.
I see.
My generation, we don't go in for relationships much. There's other priorities, like finding a job.
At Cherubim Books.
What makes you think I'm hiding something?
When the Nazis came to power, it was not a complete surprise to many of us from that moment on, and I've thought about this many times. The problem became not what your enemies were doing, Sally, but your friends. My husband did not get out of Germany. Before his disappearance, Alfred wrote me a letter. He said he could no longer trust anybody, not even his friends at the university. They were all collaborators afraid for their jobs. You see, Sally, cooperation is on the whole the rule among the intellectuals, the writers, the artists, among them not the others. The first thing that will have happened to Alfred when he entered the camps, they will have taken away his glasses, I'm sure of it. He was practically blind without them. In his letter to me, Sally, Alfred's last words were, Ich bleibe stumm. I remain silent.
I'd better tell you then how I came to work for Max.
Fear, Max. The big hit, Columbia Pictures, 1953. A woman walks across the screen. Remember her? Poor Gloria Graham, walking bandaged through the picture. Her face disfigured, her beauty gone. All through a cup of coffee!
You're a lunatic, you're insane!
Here are your dreams!
I'd applied for jobs, of course, hundreds. There was nothing doing. Well, not exactly hundreds. But when Geoffrey sent me down into that basement, it was like one of those old movies. You know, stepping into the past. You couldn't take it seriously.
Max is afraid of the past, unlike the British.
Yeah, the English lack charm, Mrs. King, don't you think so? We don't deserve it. Our sense of the past is something quiet and golden even. For you, it's different. You make connections with the present.
Ah, that old trickster, Sally. World history waits in the wings, preparing to surprise us all.
Do you know, this afternoon, Max sent me flowers. And I thought it could be fine. All right. In the magazine.
Ah, I've looked at the books. They are not fine. The printer's bills, for instance. They were honored by sums of money paid in by an unknown source. Then a year ago, the payment stopped.
There was a woman in Soho who gave Max money. I wonder why.
There's only been one love in his life. And that affair ended years ago. The girl was a student of drama, I believe.
Touching story. The girl you wanted to make a star, you put her on the front cover of the first issue. Whatever happened to Patricia Miller, Max? The dropout from the rank charm school, the bit of tat from the 1950s, and the tart from Greek Street, the one you visited on Wednesday afternoons. Uglier story altogether. Maggie, the bottom end of the market this time. She kept your business afloat until her death, it seems. I love her style. My dear Max, how I look forward to Wednesday afternoons. I long to escape from the degradation. The new drugs help a lot. Ha ha! Wonderful. Straight out of the Blue Angel.
Who gave you this?
My researcher. It's all set up. The presses are ready to roll.
What do you mean?
For Sunday, the news of the world, Max. Your story. Yeah, it's amazing. Here, people spend their days knocking those who make things, parasites to a man. You're obsessed about our private lives, yet one hint of scandal about yourself.
How haven't you they paying you for this? Look, I can offer you a trip to Tokyo, if you like. Research a screenplay, perhaps. All right, a full apology in the next issue, and you can have that piece in of yours on the Hollywood musical.
No, Max, this time there'll be no sellout. I'm making a stand on behalf of the creative artist.
Look, if you want me to beg, I can, please. Please, look, it's not for me, it's for her, for Pat. Please, I just want to protect her memory. Well, at least, there must be something worth protecting in life.
Nothing is, Max.
And you're a criminal.
What are you so afraid of? Who have you been looking at? It's yourself, Max. That's who scares you half to death.
Where I grew up, in Norfolk, the whole place is owned by about half a dozen families. And they've been there for thousands of years, but nothing ever seems to happen. And just now, hearing the story of your husband, I began to see. There might be something I can do. You see, I know who sent Max those letters, and I think you know, too. Look, there isn't very much time. We should ring for a taxi, Mrs. King.
My lawyers will, of course, be in touch in the morning.
I doubt it. They're still waiting for their free airline tickets for the last favour they did you. These pictures are going to look good on page 3.
Why is it necessary to go to such extremes?
I'm off to Germany in the morning. They appreciate my talent there. They're coughing up some Deutschmarks, even giving me a prize. They understand extremes are necessary. All the rest is bourgeois crap.
Appreciated at times by the public at large, nonetheless.
The true artist is an exile, Max. Often despised in his own country, ridiculed, unloved. I thought I'd show you before I left down in good old Soho what they're really like. The movies, Max, the stuff your dreams are made of. The old, old story of hate, love, and revenge. Perfect. Never trust a woman under 30.
I rang Winkleman at the Times. The story's dead.
Betrayal.
I suggested that forgery might not be in the best traditions of the newspaper. The penny finally dropped. Winkleman phoned the night desk at the News of the World. They called it off.
My researcher, Max. I think you'll find she knows her stuff.
In any case, scandal can only harm the powerless.
I had a theory, Sally. Look a man straight in the eye. It should be possible to bring him down by make-believe. Pure cinema. Of course, none of us would be standing here. None of these events would have taken place if the Nazis had been quicker off the mark.
Ah, that is correct.
Then I know you.
In my time, I have known too many of your kind.
At film school, they called me Mabooza. Dr. Mabooza, the man with 1,000 eyes.
I thought you were off to Germany.
He always returned while the city slept.
I've also heard too many crackpot theories.
I'm sorry to interrupt this conference, but according to the books, it seems I have been paid £129 per week. Well, taking into account deductions for national insurance and the sum of £1.32p towards a pension fund, nothing like the correct amount has ever appeared in my wage packet. I have here my resignation, properly typed, together with an urgent request for the luncheon vouchers, due to me over a 2-year period.
My God, you have a nerve. The lot of you. Do you even dare show your faces in here? What have you done anything except conspire against me? Well, for your information, Mr. Montague has refused to clear any more checks in my name. I'm a ruined man, personally liable for every single one of my debts. You will all receive your cards in the morning.
What cards?
Oh, my son. He has this idea. To succeed in life, you have to have a foreign accent. Where he gets it from, I do not know. Von Königsberg, it is not even his real name. We are not from the Prussian aristocracy.
Joseph, I need to talk to Max alone. Mrs. King hasn't had any dinner.
Oh, the delicatessen's closing. Might I recommend a Chinese?
Chinese? Do they do chicken with lemon sauce?
Well, they take American Express. I also have some questions about Martin Luther King.
Ah, now there was a man who understood politics. Many years ago, you see, in Athens. I tell you about it.
London was not always as you find it now. In the square mile around Piccadilly, there were 16 clubs. The Astor, the Café Anglais, the T-Bar, the Reds. You were driven to such places in black taxis for the sum of 5 shillings.
What was her real name?
Brown, Maggie Brown. Her stage name was Patricia Miller. I lost contact with her years ago. And then she turned up again here, working in Soho.
You visited her on Wednesday afternoons, and she helped you out.
Wow, she remembered the old days. I started the magazine for her. In the days when Max von Königsberg dazzled the bank and the city. Tried to make her a star. She died a year ago. One afternoon, I found her body. She was lying on the bed, pillow soaked in blood. She had taken her own life.
And Max von Königsberg had to look for another source of income. So he chose a weapon from the scrapbook. I came to return you these, Max. You wrote them yourself. To frighten your mother into giving you money.
You know, streets are full of tourists now. I look at the faces and people are afraid again. They are. My mother always said they would be one day.
There's a full moon tonight. Do you know, I learned today, connections are possible. With the past, I mean. Can you see the moon over Soho?
I can feel it, Miss Spencer. That is enough.
Your mother gave me a check.
You have the eye of an eagle, Joseph. My son, he takes no interest in my departure time. It is imperative that I'm in New York in the morning.
Relax, don't worry. What were you saying last night about the unions?
Not unions, Joseph. Cooperatives, the political councils, the vanguard of all revolutions. That is the correct platform from which to air your grievances.
Well, I have been offered a small pay rise. Careful with this package, my friend. It contains real cheesecake, top quality.
I'll send you a copy of my book, signed.
I had a dream once of going to New York, you know.
Voll dem der keine Heimat hat. Sieht sie noch im Traum. Joseph, my son, he has not known the girl for very long. Do you think it'll last?
Well, you know what they say, don't you? It takes all sorts.
I'm sorry.
It takes all sorts to make a world.
To make a world. Oh, but I like that expression, Joseph. I like it very much indeed.
Yeah, I know it's a gamble, Simon, but Film 85 are giving us a plug. And I'm launching with Putnam on Friday. Doing our bit for the Renaissance. The British film industry, Simon, haven't you heard? Yeah, right. I've given Simon the go-ahead to print an extra 1,000 copies. You better warn the distributors, Joseph.
But will it sell, boss?
Entertainment this autumn brings some of its brightest stars to BBC One. The battle rages as plans are made to rid the world of tripods. Juliet Bravo returns, and Kate finds herself faced with serious crime and some personal problems. A new series, Howard's Way. A family is divided by love and ambition in the cut-and-thrust world of sailing. Drama. Eric Porter plays Fagin in Charles Dickens' ever-popular Oliver Twist. Murder of a moderate man. A web of intrigue and international double-dealing. Big Deal follows the precarious life of Robbie Box, a gambling man with a lot at stake. Hold the Back Page stars David Warner as a sports writer reluctantly adjusting to the demands of a tabloid daily. Some of the best for this autumn.
I'd like to apologise now for the fact that because of our special programme on the Atlantic Challenger earlier this evening, we've had to postpone tonight's episode of The Rise and Fall of King Cotton until a later date.